Section 4. Disclosure, digital media, reporting concerns about staff, and the Code of Conduct. Finally, we need to review some important practices that help keep our students and ourselves safe. The first is dealing with disclosure. Any time a student reports abuse or neglect to you, it's important that you handle the situation delicately. Here's what you should do. Listen attentively, actively, and without judgment. Let the child use their own words. Respond calmly to the information the student provides. Only question the student if absolutely necessary, and restrict questions to open-ended questions such as, "Tell me what happened," or "Tell me about that." Reassure the student they have done the right thing to tell. For example, "Thank you for sharing," and also reassure them they are not to blame for the behaviours of others. Provide pastoral support to the student. Be aware of privacy issues involved. Be honest about your responsibilities to take action. That means that if they ask you not to tell anyone, be honest about your duty to report. Emphasize with the difficulty of it, but reassure them that it's in the student's best interest in the long run. On the other hand, do not react emotionally or accuse. Seek any more information than is absolutely necessary. Ask leading or probing questions or put words in the student's mouth. Make promises that you cannot keep, as we just mentioned. Leave the student alone immediately after the disclosure. Discuss the situation with a parent, caregiver, or others, other than with those designated in this process, the principal or counsellor. The student is bringing this information to you because they trust you. Be the best advocate possible by following the steps just presented. It's a lot of information, so feel free to watch this section of the video again. Okay, now let's just briefly touch on the use of digital media at BCIS. At BCIS, it's common for staff members to be taking pictures of students and the learning that's happening in the classroom. While this practice is definitely encouraged, there are limits to what is acceptable. All images should have a declared professional intent. That just means that any pictures on your phone, devices, school social media sites should be directly related to your job at BCIS. The word declared means that you've made it clear to an administrator how you are using the pictures and in what context. Obviously, email with parents, edublogs, Seesaw, and school WeChat groups are pre-approved. But if you are collecting or sharing photos in a new format, send a quick email to an administrator to let them know your intent. Also, staff members should remove pictures of students off their personal devices frequently and delete student group chats when activities have ended. While this next point is extremely rare, it is important that it be addressed in this training. What should you do if you're concerned about the behaviour of a colleague? We addressed this in the previous scenario with the EA coach whose behaviour raised the concern of a colleague. In that case, it was clear that reporting would be expected. If we change that EA coach to a BCIS staff member, teacher or administrator, essentially nothing changes. Reporters may feel added stress and anxiety, and they may be concerned with speaking out. In the end, you have a duty of care, and that means we report, even if they are just suspicions. Remember, reporting a concern is very different than an accusation. We've all seen the news, and no community or demographic is immune to child abuse. Don't take chances. Let your counsellor or principal know as soon as possible. Finally, we won't go into depth about the Code of Conduct, but we should address it. All staff members sign a copy each year, and it sets expectations for behaviour in the workplace. It addresses respect, physical touch with students, and child abuse and neglect reporting expectations, as well as other important behaviours. If you need to review the Code of Conduct, you can simply type Code of Conduct into the BCIS.cn search bar, or you can go to the website on the screen. We leave you on this final note. It takes a village to raise a child. When we all join together to protect our students, we provide the best practices to prevent child abuse and provide the best care when it does happen. Please feel free to review this training at any time during the year. You can also ask us or an administrator if you have any questions. Our final activity is to have you share the actions you need to take in your specific role to provide the best child protection you can to our students. Of course, you could write a dissertation on this topic, but 2 to 3 sentences will suffice. We hope you found this training clear, informative and efficient. We look forward to working with you on child protection throughout the year.